listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This podcast is sponsored by Ingram Micro's Imagine Next. It's not about the destination. It's about going someplace you never thought possible. Go to imaginenext.ingrammicro.com to find out more. Let's get into it.
Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Shelby Skrhak, and our guest today is Oliver Thompson, HP Commercial Print Care Pack Product Manager for North America. Oliver, welcome.
Thank you, Shelby. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Well, today we are talking about HP Care Packs for commercial print and B2B uses. But first, Oliver, tell us just a little bit about your role there at HP.
Well, essentially, I'm a printer insurance salesman.
Yeah,
All right?
That's a good way of putting it, right?
Yeah, and basically, I work with our channel partners and our end customers to make sure that their commercial print devices are covered for service and support.
Well, support is that's a vital piece of it, because for Ingram Micro, partners, there's only so many people that you can have. There's only so many places that you can be. So let's go over a little bit of the basics first. So just tell us a little bit about HP Care Packs and what types of Care Packs are we talking about? What's available?
Sure. So a Care Pack is just HP's label for extended warranties. And we do have a few different flavors for extended warranties. One of those is what we call an in-warranty care pack. That basically means a care pack that you purchase usually at the time of the hardware purchase. And what it does is it extends the standard HP manufacturer warranty. So that might take your standard warranty from 1 year for standard all the way out to up to 5 years for service and support coverage. We also have something called a post-warranty care pack. And those are designed for customers that have devices whose warranty has expired or whose previous care pack has expired. And those are offered in 1 and 2 year increments. Those are kind of the two general types of care packs. And within those two types, we have some other details, what we call service level agreements. And those relate to whether or not the repair is done on site at the customer's location. In some cases, we have what's known as an exchange service level agreement. And what that means is if the printer is defective, HP sends a new printer out, and then the end user packages up the defective device and sends it back to HP. That's known as an exchange type care pack. And the third major type of care pack we have is what we know as parts only. So as the title implies, that just means that HP reimburses either the end customer or the partner for the parts used in repairing that device, but no labor reimbursement is involved in that type of care pack.
Gotcha. Okay. And to clarify, the types of printers we're talking about, are these both the desktop variety and something that's more of a B2B use or more of an office use?
Yeah, great question. So I am the commercial print care pack product manager, and I have a counterpart who is our consumer print care pack manager. And so primarily, the devices that are covered by the care packs I focus on are those LaserJet devices that are typically found in an office environment. But we do also offer care packs for our smaller personal or consumer level printers, those desk jets, the inkjets, office jet model devices.
Okay. So looking at when a partner is considering whether to purchase the care pack, it's kind of that proverbial, when you make that big purchase and someone saying, well, hey, do you want the extended warranty?
Right.
Why do partners purchase the care packs? I mean, what does it do for them?
Yeah, there's definitely got to be something in it for the partner. From the end user's point of view, they just want to know that their device is covered, is going to be serviced and supported no matter what, right? And so, from the partner's point of view, the reason that they like to include care packs in their business model is a couple of main reasons. One of those reasons is you might have a partner that has a specific service territory or geographic location where their own techs are servicing their install base. And with a care pack, what the partner is doing is leveraging the breadth and the depth of the HP workforce. And so if the partner has a customer outside of their service geography, what the care pack does is enables that partner to utilize an HP badge technician to go out and service that customer on behalf of the partner. So extending service territory is one of the main reasons. The other main reason is, a lot of our partners essentially write a contract, a service contract with their end customer. And that may include supplies and maintenance, as well as break fix service and support. So that's a relationship between our partners and the end customer. And what a care pack does in that scenario is it helps the partner manage any future risk. So if a particular device were to break down often, the partner is really responsible to make sure that device is up and running and may incur significant costs for parts as well as their labor. So if that device is covered by a care pack, even when the partner services and supports that device themselves, what they get is, coverage, essentially like underwriting from HP. HP replenishes or reimburses for parts, and HP reimburses for the labor incurred by that partner. So it really helps them manage their overall costs and their risk with a flat rate known cost of that care pack.
So, I mean, it truly is like that insurance policy that if you're, put this amount out kind of on a regular basis. Well, let me ask though, is it a monthly subscription based fee or how does that work?
Yeah, another great question, Shelby. So typically our care packs are what we sometimes refer to as a fixed care pack, meaning it's a shrink wrap off the shelf product. It has a SKU number, and typically those care packs are purchased and paid for upfront. So you would buy, let's say, a 3, 4, or 5-year care pack, and the cost and that payment to HP is made upfront. We do also offer something called print service contracts, and very similar in terms of service level agreements and options as we have for care packs, but we do also provide the flexibility to pay for those on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis as the partner sees fit to support their business model.
Yeah, and that is a model that's become increasingly popular, kind of a subscription-based model, the Netflix way of paying for things.
Absolutely. This really is service and support as a service. And the other great thing about those print service contracts is partners can add and remove devices really anytime, and we then would adjust that monthly invoice based on the devices that are actually in the fleet. So if devices get refreshed or devices get moved or devices get removed from a fleet, we can adjust in a very flexible manner using those print service contracts. Whereas a care pack, as I mentioned earlier, it is a fixed service. If you buy a 5-year care pack, you're covered for 5 years, period.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that care packs help expand a partner's service territory. So,
Yeah.
what does that mean practically, though? I mean, why is that particularly attractive to partners who are trying to take care of their customers?
Yeah, well, the partners we work with really have a lot of larger enterprise customers who have satellite offices. And of course, today in a hybrid work environment where people are working in a mobile situation or working from home, their print devices could be just about anywhere, not just at a corporate headquarters location. So this makes it challenging for a partner who may be considered a regional in, let's say, one part of the US. It makes it a little challenging for them to support those larger enterprise customers that have their end users, scattered about. So they can have really, the partner can have peace of mind knowing that HP's network of technicians is really expansive across North America and really globally as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wonder, Oliver, if we can talk about some of the practicalities of printer and printer maintenance. You know, as any consumer will tell you, the printer can be a source of some frustration at times as far as, why isn't it working? And so when you look at the partner's standpoint for a care pack, can you talk about, again, those practicalities of, you know, best laid plans, no matter, how reliable a product may be, there's still going to be those things that go wrong. What type of peace of mind insurance policy is available for that?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, printers really should be innocuous, right? They should just be in the corner somewhere working away, printing out your pages. You click a button and your print comes out. Really, that's the world that people and our end users have come to expect. Printers are ubiquitous. Printing as a concept is ubiquitous. So really, anytime a printer has an issue, as you mentioned, there's a lot of frustration and anxiety and confusion. And it's like, oh my goodness, where do I go? Right.
Right.
And so end users who have the benefit of a partner, they know who to call, right? They're going to call their partner first and say, hey, you placed this device in my office, last month or last year or whenever, and I've got a problem. So, the end customer has some level of peace of mind if all they know is they call the partner, right? And they don't need to think about, oh, I need an on-site IT tech person that can come and solve something anytime I have a problem with my printer. The end customer needs that peace of mind, whether they're calling the partner or whether they are calling HP directly. And the partner needs to have the peace of mind that they can support that end customer no matter what, no matter how many times the customer has issues. We know that in many cases, without pointing fingers, it might be a user error or misunderstanding of how the device works.
Right.
And, one of the great things about HP's Care Pack support for our devices is that our call center agents are trained to resolve as many problems remotely as possible. Really, we really send a part or dispatch a tech as our last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we can help the partner or the end customer through that issue. It might be a firmware update. It might be a networking configuration change. And those sorts of things, when we're able to get the customer up and running immediately, everybody breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And I think we really need to be keeping in mind, the power with, remote technology and accessing those printer devices remotely and resolving those issues over the phone and over the internet.
Yeah, definitely. And that is a good peace of mind because, there could be frequent challenges with a printer, especially if you are supporting a large office or are, I think of my husband who was IT for a large boys high school, Catholic high school. And yeah, I mean, the level of technical knowledge there may vary person to person and may vary widely. And so, just the printers in a school could keep an IT person busy,
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And I think in general, service and support agreements, what they really are intended to do is offload some of that work from those IT workers. IT folks really should have and do have much higher level critical tasks to be focusing on versus, how come I got a printer jam, or
Right.
what's this error message mean on my printer? And, same thing goes for our partners, right? Our goal is to help the partners leverage their own teams. Their salespeople should be selling. They should be adding value to their customers and acting as trusted advisors, not just as a break-fix technician on demand. And so, really, the goal with this kind of ecosystem of phone support, remote support, part shipment, advanced exchange of devices, and HP's own technician workforce, our goal and vision is that we are offloading some of that basic work and those basic tasks from our partners so they can focus on higher level, higher impact activities.
Right. Well, as we do start to wrap up our episode today, we just always ask our guests the same final question. And that's, where do you see technology going in the next year? So that is super broad, but it's by design because we kind of want to explore a little bit of just, what you are seeing in the field and what you expect to be coming down the pike. So where are we going to be in 2023?
Yeah, another great question. A little bit of a head scratcher for me. But, I think we need to keep in mind a lot of global trends, right? You mentioned Netflix and the whole as a service concept. I think we are looking at a lot more contractual business as it relates to technology. So that, in the print world, we call that printing as a service. In some cases and business contexts, that's just known as maybe a managed print service, MPS. But basically, printing as a service. We already have offerings for our customers, things like instant ink, right? So that's an example of your supplies as a service. On the PC side of our business, we have device as a service, right? So again, partners and customers don't want to really worry about when they refresh their devices, or is their firmware up to date, or is their software applications up to date. And handling all of that can be done as a service in a very flexible manner. I think the as a service model and trend also plays into really the younger generation, the folks that are entering the workforce. They expect to have flexibility in when and where and how they complete their work tasks. That means a lot more mobility. That means a lot more, things like hoteling cubes or hot cubes where they can go to a satellite site, get some work done, and then go have their latte, right? And so we're seeing people getting a lot of work done in places that you normally wouldn't consider. The concept of a brick and mortar corporate office, it's evolving. I'm not going to say it's going away, but it's definitely evolving. And obviously the pandemic really accelerated a lot of those trends. I have a lot of friends who just picked up and said, well, you know what? I'm going to move to the Caribbean because I can do my job from the Caribbean. Right. And that's awesome. Right. And they're productive there. because they have the devices they need, they have the connectivity they need, and they have the service and support they need to continue to work effectively. So I just really think we need to embrace what we're hearing and what from the younger generation and what we see as their expectations. Those are all opportunities for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for listeners who have any questions about something that we talked about today or want to find out more, how can they reach out?
Oh, yeah, great question. So I would say you can go to hp.com as a good starting point. That'll take you to our customer portal where you can look at our products. And if you are looking at a printer at the HP store, you can also see online any care packs that are available for that particular device. And, obviously, we also want you to work directly with your partners. I'm speaking to the end customer now. And if you are a partner, you should be working with your partner business manager at HP, and they can help explain any questions you have about care packs or other support options like our print service contracts.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate the time and the insight today. Thank you so much for joining me, Oliver.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Take care.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. If you like this episode or have a question, please join the discussion on Twitter with the hashtag B2B Talk. Until next time, I'm Shelby Skrhak.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. This episode was sponsored by Ingram Micro's Imagine Next. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production with Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform.